Good afternoon and welcome to the Orange County IDA's Financial Committee meeting. The time is now 4:18. Bill, if you can kindly do roll call.
Sure. Mark Green,
Here.
Linda Muller,
Here.
Jeffrey Christ,
Here.
Dean Tambury.
Here.
Four members here. For staff, myself, Bill Fioravanti, Marty Barras, and Kelly Riley. We have our external CFO, Shannon Manisi. We have our AV crew from Acquisitions Marketing, our general counsel, Lino Sharetta, and our state monitor, Mr. Brian Sandage. So,
Fantastic. Notice of this meeting was properly provided.
sir.
Fantastic. Let's get into it. I hope everyone's reviewed the minutes from last meeting. If so, can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Also move. I'll second.
Fantastic. Any discussions? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes approved. Great. New business. Shannon, we are now on the IDA component. If you can run us through the 2025 February financials, that'd be appreciated.
Sure. So the IDA had an application for Hotel Cornwall. That's what the $2,500 there is. The management fee income of $8,100 from OCIDA and some interest. So for February, there was $11,095.96 in income. Most of the expenses are the normal standard monthly approved expenses. You'll see that the monitor is $28,963. That is for two bills from October and November of last year. Your IT support and audiovisual is $32.85, and that's made up of Acquisitions Marketing, QuickBooks, Microsoft, GoDaddy, and Adobe. The memberships of 175 are for your Amazon Prime, and there was a pattern roundtable that Bill attended. And overall, the rest of the expenses are just the normal salaries and building utilities and repairs and maintenance. So for February, there were $82,138 in expenses, so a net loss of $71,042.06. Any questions on those?
And Shannon, I'll just add that, unless I'm wrong, the billing from RBT for the month also includes the year-end work that you did getting us ready
Yes,
for
it
audit,
does.
right?
Yep.
So that, and remember a couple months ago, we went over Shannon's latest letter with their rate and such, and we did add something she had looked to do in the past, but had let us go, like a $3,000 charge for year-end work. Okay, just wanted to be clear on that. Thanks, Shannon.
I had a question on the actuals and budget on the third set of columns to the right that are total. I'm a little unclear what the total is for the actual and even the budget. Is it for year to date?
Yes. Those should be your year-to-date total. So your actual is what you've actually earned for those 3 months, or expended for those 3 months, I believe. And Mark or Kelly can jump in if I'm inaccurate because she's the one that runs these reports. And then the budget is the budget for those 3 months as well.
But the actual, Shannon, from December isn't included in that number.
Oh, you took it from December?
Yeah, well, there's,
Oh.
they see the line for December because they want to see 3 months, so that's not included into
Okay, so it's just the past 3 months?
2
the
months.
2 months.
It's-
Oh, so you didn't include December? Okay, sorry, I couldn't really hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because I think the numbers don't line up for the 2 months. So maybe December's in there even if you didn't intend.
Which number is that, Jeff? Which number?
The actuals under total.
Correct.
If you look at those and then compare them to the first, or to January and February, they don't compute. You could do,
Yeah, it does look like it's pulling in December.
which I think it makes sense not to include December, but
Correct. Every one of them, you're saying, right?
Yes.
I'm a little confused. So What exactly are you looking
It
at?
is including December, you're right.
Yeah, I'm looking at these
Oh,
numbers.
at the bottom.
Yep.
But they kind of are similar all the way through. If you add January and February, you don't get that number. You gotta add December to get the right number.
Interesting, because when I'm looking, like, I'm starting at the top, and the numbers make sense to me.
That's because some of those were not in December.
Right.
But if you get down to management fee, you've got the 19 from December in the total actual.
Yep, I see you now, yep. So
But
if
that
there's-
clears it up, so I understand it at
Yeah,
least.
because if it's a blank, it's totaling all three. Yep.
Do we need to modify or say we're gonna modify before approval? Or?
If it's supposed to be year-to-date, I think we should. And that would make sense to me. We started a new year.
In January, yep, I agree.
We know what the issue is, right?
Yeah,
So,
but just for board approval, maybe we could just note it. So if you make note of that, Mark, when we're asking the board for approval.
It was the same in OCFC, I just didn't say it soon enough.
Good catch. Good, Jeff.
Simple things.
I mean, next month you won't have to worry about it. Right.
Right.
But for the first 2 months of the year. So write yourself a note for next January. Okay.
In February.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, January's correct, February's correct.
Yes,
The
Yes.
total just
The
isn't
total's-
correct.
correct. For year-to-date.
I say approve it and move it forward personally, but because the 2 months are correct.
Yeah, are we okay with that?
Just the columns don't say year-to-date on the top, so I don't know that it's actually misleading if you just say it's for the past 3 months. And then we can just make a note for next month to make sure that next month it will be year-to-date because it will be all 2025
Yeah,
anyway.
it won't be an issue the rest of the year, so.
Yeah.
All right, I can make note of that in the meeting. And, yes, all right.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions, Eagle Eyes?
No,
Right.
I'm done looking.
Shannon, continue, please.
Sure. So cash in the bank, so the operating account had $643,000 in it, the escrows had $39,000, and the CDs had just shy of $8.6 million in it. And again, I'm sure you guys are gonna talk about the CDs. So overall, 9.283 in cash and CDs for February.
We'll come back to the CDs again. Let's continue on with payables.
For the payables, you see the bills from Anshin there. The Felonzer Engineering was for the Legoland monitoring. Fran Roth, which is our stenographer, that was for the SWF development public hearing. Leanne Associates, which is the labor monitor, that's for OC Hospitality and Lunches, and those two are pass-throughs. The Loki Brill is also a pass-through, that's the closeout report for Fiorello Pharmaceuticals. And as you can see in RBT, the 324850 was for the year-end stuff, and the 1850 is their monthly amount that we usually pay them. And for the town of New Windsor, we had to pay for the fire inspection. That's a yearly thing that they come around and check all the smoke detectors. And Bill has his mileage reimbursement and tolls.
For conference in Albany.
So I have a quick question. How come I got it, okay. Real quick, in case you're done, the Anshin, if you notice, at the third one down. That's actually more than what was budgeted in February, or what was in the February. And I believe that's because if you see the two top ones, 213, 213, 22.8, 61.83, those must have been cashed, so they hit our books in February. This one, 225, the 13,263 we'll see in March. Just, I don't want Mr. Chris to show me up again.
Okay. Good enough.
Bill, when does the, we started for the Stewart project, have they paid in yet on any of that yet? They don't do that yet, when do they pay?
We haven't done a final approval even, let alone
So
close down it.
there's no, they're not, they don't owe the IDA anything until we get to that point.
Correct, until we do a closing.
That's okay.
Yeah,
And they had the.
Public hearing.
the Public hearing.
but they can't come to us until they have their approvals. They don't go through secret because it's on Port Authority property, state-owned property, but they go through their own, forget that acronym. That they go through their own approval process. They have to complete that before they.
Secret, is that a secret?
Yeah, but they don't have secret on this property, so, an EP, something I wanna say, I have it somewhere.
EPA.
No,
DEP?
no, it's,
I'll throw a
It's a-
couple acronyms out.
yeah,
there.
no,
Not
it's-
gonna help.
Surplus?
But
no,
what do you think a time frame of that would be, that we?
several months. It's gonna take a while. Lino, you had the same analysis of the Sky Harbor, right?
Yeah,
It's gonna take a
same
while.
thing.
They've got a lot of approval to go through. I have
Okay.
touched base with Port Authority, kind of as part of my vetting process, but they said the permitting will be several months.
Okay.
It'll take a while. I'll keep you guys updated in my CEO report on that.
All right. Any questions about slide, well, not a number, but the transaction list by vendor? All right, then let's move on to the next one, the credit cards.
Those are the bills.
Yeah, so those just sync up with our bills from the previous page. I don't see anything too egregious. Any questions about any individual bills? Does anyone need more time to review? All right, then let's jump back and do the CDs.
Should we let Shannon go?
Shannon, are you good? Do you have anything else?
I mean, I can hang on if you have questions about where everything stands. It's up to you guys.
All right, well,
This
won't take too
Only
long.
a couple minutes.
Yeah, exactly. All right, thanks, Shannon. We'll have you stick with us.
It would have been done if you hadn't interrupted me.
Yeah, no problem.
We, same as from the, sorry. We have a 9-month CD coming due tomorrow, 1.4 million. We have 644,000 in the checking account. What, do we have anything, do you think, in the next 3 months? I know we've made some commitments. Do we think
The Indigo Reservoir, there could be, that's gonna be incremental billing as the work is done. I think maximum, there could be in 3 months, there could be $100,000, but I think that's unlikely, but I think if we had to, guess high on that, that's probably the number I'd use.
all right, so that still would put us, we still would have over $500,000 in our
And
checking.
Yeah.
Vision Hudson Valley, but we don't know what's coming in with that.
True,
either.
we're starting to pay, remember that's for the quality of life report, a maximum of $20,000. We're paying right now the research students that are doing that, so we're paying almost like payroll, been doing it. That's gonna drag out for a while, so it's not gonna, and again, the maximum 20 grand.
20 grand,
Yeah,
so that's,
it's kind of negligible.
all right. All right, then I don't, I mean, yeah, I guess then flipping the coin, is it prudent to continue to have, $650,000 in the checking account?
Mm.
I think so,
Okay.
especially when you have, June coming up. Right, another
You're
Because it seems like
concerned
too
about not
much.
getting
Well, no, what I'm saying is, we've got 650,000 in our checking account not getting us
interest.
anything.
I understand.
Is that, should we continue that way?
So if you were to put some into the CDs, if we were to take it back out, is there a penalty?
Well, I think we would use the same thought process we did, which is doing the 9-month treasury bill, which would allow us the liquidity to move in and out if we did have to do anything. And since we are going to do that, I would rather take some money out of the checking account
I agree.
and put it in there. So I apologize, we said at most, we think 100,000 for the one,
Yep.
20,000 for the other. Even if you said, let's keep another, 100,000 in
Yeah.
there, 250, you're still talking about 400,000 that could be making us money
Yeah,
Yeah.
versus leaving it in the checking account.
great.
Plus, there's, I think, 50,000 in interest coming in with this.
Well, I don't know if is it that much? I don't
It
know if it's
depends
quite
on
that
if
much
I-
anymore.
What's
Yeah.
a little more?
Fifty-
Just
53?
doodling. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
somewhere's under 60. Yep.
Well,
Only
doodle a
doodle.
little more then.
I rounded it off conservatively.
Yep.
Yeah, so, I mean, so then, if we're going to get that, then, I would say this, then,
We can always get some out of the T-bill if we need to, so.
I don't think we'll need to in 3 months.
I don't think so either, but, so if we,
Expenses are average like 80,000, I think, so.
8,000 a month,
No, you're about 90, 95, if you average all of last year's.
alright, so,
And you have to remember now you have the
Remanagement payments,
monitor.
Figure
And the
100.
monitor
You're right.
fees, I don't know if they're only up to December, so you're still gonna have January and February invoices that have to be coming in, because you just got October, November.
Good point.
let's kind of think this through. Let's say 644 plus, we think roughly 55,000 in interest? Doodle, guys?
Yes,
Okay.
you got it.
All right, so that brings us to a cool, let's call it 700,000 in our checking account. Minus the 300,000 for 3 months of expenses, brings us to 400,000. Minus 100K, brings us to 3. Minus 20,000, brings us, to 280. I mean, I still think we could probably take 250,000 out and utilize that. It's not as much as we thought originally, but does that make sense?
Yeah.
What's that extra 100 for?
Potentially Indigo. That's high,
Oh,
but if they do
oh.
some work and we
Right,
reimburse them for
yeah.
Indigo.
Well, it's good to factor that in.
And we want to.
I think that's very high, but
We typically leave it an even number going into the T-bill, correct? Some sort of even number, so would it be?
Yeah, well,
one-
the T-bill,
Six.
they take a little vig out,
That's what
so
I'm
it's,
saying.
the CD, if you do 600, it's 600. The T-bill, if you do 600, it's like 590, So, but yeah, I would say this then, right, not just yet, but, we've got 1.4 that rolls. So I'm trying to think of the best way to do this.
I guess my question is, do we have any anticipated income coming in?
That's another very good question. I would say probably not that we can count on in the next.
I don't think
few
we'll
months.
close anything, so I think it will be like application fees. In that time, we may penalize one of our projects for local labor compliance, minimum. I think you're talking $10,000, at most.
All right, then I think we do this. We say, let's, put 1,650,000. That's the 1.4 plus the 250,000. Let's put 1,650 into a 9-month T-bill, maturing in December of this year. Does that make sense? And that should leave more than enough money to go 3 months. And at least we're gonna make some money on the 250,000.
1.65.
1.65.
Okay.
All right,
Bill,
so,
I got a question. Do you have any shovel-ready expenses that are gonna come due in this period that
Yeah, good
are
question.
not
Great question.
part of your normal expenses?
I don't think so, no, but I think
Okay,
just after 3 months
That would be the only thing
because,
that would be a
Close.
large
Yeah, hopefully.
expense
exactly,
that would throw this off.
yeah.
all right.
Good question.
Okay.
A, thank you. I love working with smart people. B, if something happens, Shannon, we are in T-bills, so we could get money
No,
out
I
in
know,
3
I
days.
just, if he knew it was coming.
Yeah.
then-
Absolutely.
but
Absolutely.
If there's nothing on the horizon, then yeah.
Yeah,
It's a great point, but there could be some expenses with the EPA, but we get reimbursed same day or next day with them, so that doesn't have to affect cash flow much. Fast New York's gonna take a little bit, yeah, I think we're good for these 3 months for sure on that subject.
okay. Then can I get a motion to invest 1,650,000 in the JP Morgan Treasury bill at 4.02% 9-month?
I'll move it. Second.
Any further discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion carries.
Motion carries.
Who was the first one, that motion?
Jeff and Dean seconded.
Thank you.
Let's see, what else do we have down here? Talk about that. And I think we are ready to adjourn.
Did we approve the financials?
We did not.
We did, yeah.
Right, geez.
Right.
You're absolutely correct. Can I get a motion to approve the financials and the payables?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Dean seconds. Any further discussion about those? Then, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're good to go.
Meeting adjourned.
Then can I get a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved. Second.
Dean seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're out.
All right.